And then to confuse things further, we also have something known as phases of mechanical ventilation, which can be applied to all the modes. So every mode has multiple phases possible. Now let us start talking about modes of mechanical ventilation. So in the early phase, what we discussed as positive and negative pressure and invasive and non-invasive was basically about types of mechanical ventilation. Now we should be talking about modes. And then to confuse things further, we also have something known as phases of mechanical ventilation, which can be applied to all the modes. So every mode has multiple phases possible. So when we say phases, basically we are talking about what controls we are setting. So there we have a volume controlled phase or a pressure controlled phase. And when we talk about modes, I can broadly divide them into two categories. One is controlled mode, where we have a full control on patient's breathing parameters, and second one is semi-controlled mode. Okay, so in controlled mode, basically ventilator delivers every breath at prefixed parameters. Whatever is the parameter we are fixing. Rate is anyway we fix. We decide how much rate of breathing to be given to patient, and then we fix other parameters, either respiratory volume, I mean the tidal volume, or peak inspiratory pressure. We fix it and the ventilator delivers every breath. You have to remember one point here: in controlled mode of ventilation, patients' respiratory efforts are ignored. Patient's respiratory efforts are completely ignored by the machine. Even if machine senses that patient is trying to make an inspiratory effort, it does not follow it. It keeps on giving its timed breaths. Okay, so that is about controlled mode of ventilation. So when we talk about semi-controlled mode of ventilation, basically here patient is getting some assured mechanical ventilator breaths. Okay, plus patient is having freedom to generate his own breaths. So that is what is semi-controlled mode of ventilation. There are two typical examples for it. One is assist control mode of ventilation, and the second one is synchronized intermittent mandatory ventilation. These two are very commonly used semi-controlled mode of mechanical ventilation. Right. So now that we know the broad division, you should also know that these phases can be applied to all these modes. So when there is controlled mandatory ventilation, which is a typical example of controlled ventilation, that could be pressure controlled or that could be volume controlled. Similarly, this assist control mode of ventilation can be pressure controlled or volume controlled. SIMV can also be pressure controlled or volume controlled. Well, I understand this is a bit confusing. We'll try to make it this little more palatable in a subsequent slide where we put a table and discuss about what is a trigger, what is limit, and what is cycling. But before that, let us understand in essence some of the important ventilatory modes which we very frequently use in our clinical practice. Okay, the first one we should be talking about is controlled mode of ventilation. Obviously, we are talking about fully controlled mode of ventilation. So in controlled mode of ventilation, we have the absolute control. That means we are setting the respiratory rate. Okay, we are either setting a volume controlled or a pressure controlled mode, right? So depending on volume controlled or pressure control, we have a limit about tidal volume or the peak inspiratory pressure, and thus patient is getting a fixed breath with fixed parameters every time. So for example, if you have set respiratory rate at 10, he's getting 10 breaths every minute. Okay, so thus time becomes an important triggering factor, because see, for example, if we have set 10 as the respiratory rate, that means we have 6 seconds for every breath. So at the end of every 6 seconds, machine knows that okay, one breath is completed, I have completed 6 seconds of a breathing cycle, now it's time for next cycle. That's how machine senses it is time for the next breath. That is why we call as time as a trigger for controlled mode of ventilation. Here also we have a flexibility with respect to inspiration and expiration ratio. So for example, if we have set an inspiration ratio of 1 and expiration of 2, which is a norm, right? We usually have a expiration longer than inspiration. So settings also go by that, 1:2 or 1:3 max. In that case, that means we have 2 seconds for inspiration and 4 seconds for expiration with each cycle. So this cycle continues till the 10 breaths are delivered every 10 minutes. That's how a control mode of ventilation works. On the other hand, we have a semi-controlled mode like assist control mode of ventilation and SIMV. So in both of these, machine triggers fixed number of breaths, right? So here also machine triggers fixed number of breaths. For sake of easiness, I am taking this number as 10. So if we have set 10 as machine triggered breaths in both assist control mode as well as SIMV, those 10 breaths are delivered for sure. Okay, and the trigger is usually time because machine is triggering all the breaths. So the time is the trigger for this. Apart from that, in these modes, patient can also trigger their own breaths, right? So these patient triggered breaths, there is no limit to numbers, whatever number it is permitted, right? So in assist control, for example, I'm just taking a hypothetical number. The patient is triggering 4 breaths, and I'm also taking the same hypothetical number for SIMV. Here also patient is triggering 4 breaths, right? So that means those 10 mandatory breaths are delivered in both the modes of ventilation, and there is also permission for the patient to do his own breath cycles. So as we expected, the 4 breaths are triggered by the patient in both these modes of ventilation. In that case, what is the difference between assist control and SIMV? You have to understand this point or this difference between ACMV and SIMV because this is the fundamental difference between these two. The difference is that in assist control mode of ventilation, these patient triggered breaths are assisted, I can say fully assisted or supported or fully supported. What do I mean by that? Fully supported or assisted? Basically, see, for example, if you've taken a volume control mode of assist control mode of ventilation, or it could be pressure control mode also. I'm just taking volume control as an hypothetical scenario. So if you're following a volume control mode, and if, say, for example, if you set a tidal volume of 600 ml per breath, all these 10 breaths receive that 600 ml of tidal volume, right? That applies to even SIMV because it is a controlled breath. So 600 ml is delivered. On the other hand, the patient triggered 4 breaths in ACMV are also fully supported. That means the preset parameters, like in controlled mode, 600 ml of volume controlled mode, this 600 ml is delivered for all these 4 patient triggered breaths also in assist control mode of ventilation. On the other hand, these 4 SIMV patient triggered breaths are not supported or assisted. What do I mean by that? The tidal volume, this 600 ml is not delivered. Patient's effort is respected. So if patient creates a tidal volume of 200 ml, that is delivered. If patients create a tidal volume of 400 ml, that is delivered. If patient creates a tidal volume of 800 ml, that is delivered. There is no assistance in terms of prefixed parameters being delivered with the breath. That is the main difference. So if you look at those ventilator graphs, for example, if you look at volume time graph, so in assist control mode of ventilation, whether the breath is triggered by a machine or whether it is triggered by patient, all looks same because the fixed tidal volume is delivered for every breath. Okay, so for example, if this breath is triggered by patient and this is triggered by machine, the tidal volume is delivered similarly, so it all looks same. If you do that for SIMV, so machine triggered breaths are obviously in our controlled situation, and patient triggered breaths may not have the fixed tidal volume being achieved. So here we have a standard tidal volume which was machine delivered here and here, which is achieved. But what you're seeing here, these are all patient triggered breaths, so the tidal volume is varying. Okay, so that is the main difference between ACMV and SIMV. Next mode of ventilator that we should be discussing about is pressure support ventilation. So this is something interesting because this is different from all those controlled or semi-controlled mode of ventilation. So here basically patient is only being supported. The name itself says pressure support ventilation. So the trigger here is not by machine or time. So whenever we talk about machine triggered breath, basically they are time triggered. Like we are setting a fixed rate. So the breaths are being cycled according to that. But in pressure support mode of ventilation, all the breaths are patient triggered. Patient himself generates a negative intrathoracic pressure. Machine senses that patient is making an inspiratory effort, and then it delivers a free fixed pressure support. So that is the difference between the other modes of ventilation and this. So the important thing you should know is that it is a patient triggered breath only supported by pressure. I can say in other words, this is basically a CPAP with an invasive interface. So in CPAP also there is a pressure support with every breath. The interface was basically a face mask or a helmet. Here the interface is an endotracheal tube or a tracheostomy tube. That's the only difference between CPAP and pressure support mode of ventilation. The last thing that I have listed here is inverse ratio ventilation. Okay, so normally, as we talked earlier, there is an inspiratory and expiratory ratio which is usually 1:2 to 1:3. So we have a longer expiration, shorter inspiration. But in inverse ratio ventilation, inspiratory duration is increased and proportionately expiratory duration is lowered. So if I ask you what is the need for such a modification or what is an indication for such mode of ventilation, you should be able to answer. Well, see, most of the carbon dioxide expiration happens during expiratory phase. Oxygenation or oxygen transport across alveolar membrane happens during inspiration phase. So if you are lengthening inspiration, obviously we mean we need to drive in more oxygen. So basically we are talking about type 1 respiratory failure, right? And the most commonly tried type 1 respiratory failure as an indication for inverse ratio ventilation was indeed ARDS. Okay, so though none of our current ARDS ventilatory strategies basically talk or emphasize on inverse ratio ventilation, this was basically tried for this indication. Now we understand ARDS in a better way. We understand our ventilators in a better way. So our guidelines for ARDS ventilatory strategy are very refined, and inverse ratio ventilation is not favored anymore. But you should know the most common indication that was practiced for inverse ratio ventilation was ARDS. Okay, well, after looking at these modes, now come to an important table. This table is basically about trigger, limit and cycle. Well, now you may ask me what is trigger. Obviously you know now that trigger is basically what makes a respiratory breath to start in a ventilated patient, right? So if we are talking about a controlled mode of ventilation, so whenever we are talking about controlled mode of ventilation, time is a trigger. Okay. So you can see in this mandatory is basically controlled breaths, right? So whenever we have a mandatory breath being delivered, the trigger is always time. So in controlled mode of ventilation, trigger is always time because we are setting a fixed rate. So according to that, time becomes a trigger point. Second thing we should talk about is limit. So what limit we have set for the ventilator? Depending on what mode or phase we have chosen, pressure controlled or volume controlled, something is limited so that the end result is achieved. For example, if we are talking about volume controlled mode, right, then flow is a limit. Irrespective of whatever mode it is, when the phase is volume controlled, flow becomes limit. I'll tell you why again. See, if you have, for example, if you have set a respiratory rate of 10 and a tidal volume of 600 ml, right? So you have 6 seconds for every breathing cycle, right? For one breathing cycle we have 6 seconds. So out of that, 2 seconds is for inspiration and 4 seconds is for expiration if we are following a inspiration expiration ratio of 1:2, right? So if we have to deliver this 600 ml of tidal volume during this 2 seconds, that means we have a flow rate of 300 ml per second, right? So we have, or we can arrive at a fixed flow rate to deliver this fixed tidal volume in the fixed duration of time, right? So thus flow becomes a limit. So we set this flow limit so that at that rate the air gets into respiratory system. So flow is the limit for all volume control mode of ventilation. But when we talk about pressure control mode, the limit is basically pressure. So here we set the peak inspiratory pressure and the inspiratory pressure should not cross that. So when we are talking about volume control mode of ventilations, the limit is flow or flow rate. When we are talking about pressure control mode of ventilation, the limit is flow. That is clear. Now comes the question of what is cycle. So like trigger decides when the respiratory breath begins, cycle decides when inspiration ends and then the expiratory pause is permitted. Okay, so how our ventilator comes to know that this is the time that I call off inspiration and allow expiration to happen. Expiration is always passive, whether it is a controlled mode of ventilation or patient driven, it's always passive, right? So when we are talking about controlled mode of ventilations and we are talking about volume controlled, whenever it is volume controlled, volume is the cycler. Like 600 ml of tidal volume is delivered. Now we know that inspiration is over. Let us allow the time for expiration to happen. So when we talk about cycle, whenever there is volume controlled mode, volume is the cycler. Okay. On the other hand, whenever we talk about pressure controlled modes, time becomes a cycler. Okay, so whenever we talk about pressure controlled mode, time is a cycler. Time tells you that okay, this is the time, because there is a fixed airway pressure built up. So time decides when the inspiratory effort ends and expiration begins. So in pressure controlled mode, time is the cycler. So if you remember or understand these points, you start making little more sense with respect to your understanding of different modes of mechanical ventilation. So this was about mandatory breaths or controlled breaths. When we talk about assisted breaths or spontaneous breaths by the patient, patient is always the trigger irrespective of what mode. For all the spontaneous breaths, obviously the trigger is patient, not time or the machine. Okay, now let us look at these individual modes. In volume control mode, time is the trigger, flow is the limit, volume is the cycler. Okay, and obviously it is a controlled mode, so there are no assisted breaths. In volume controlled assist control mode of ventilation, time is a trigger for assisted breath, flow is the limit, and volume is the cycler. But for the assisted breaths, patient is the trigger, flow is the limit, and volume is the cycler. Similarly, for volume controlled SIMV, for the controlled breaths, time is the trigger, flow is the limit, and volume is the cycler. For pressure controlled mode of CMV, time is the trigger, pressure is the limit, and time is the cycler. Same applies for pressure controlled assist control mode of ventilation. Time is the trigger, pressure is the limit, time is the cycler. When we talk about assisted breath, patient is the trigger, pressure is the limit, and time is the cycler. And same applies for pressure controlled SIMV. Do spend a little bit of time on this table so that you understand these parameters in a little better way, because definitely when you walk into ICU next time, if you know these parameters in a little better sense, you can do a little bit better service to your patients.